Welcome back to a very exciting episode of the Sons of Anarchy prediction show with Topher and AJ. I'm Toph.
And I'm AJ, and oh man, do we have a special show in store for you guys. But hey, enough about that. Let's get this started off with the recap.
Alright, so to start things off, Jax and Tara have a little awkward baby handoff with Thomas, and then they sit down at their kitchen table. Jax starts filling her in on everything that's going on, with the DA, with the Irish. He also says, I've been up all night trying to figure out how to help you with your charges.
And she says, you can't help. And he says, the least I could do is be honest, because up to this point, I haven't been. He also tells her that he loves her, and that he acknowledges the fact that she hasn't been able to say it back since she returned from Stockton.
Yeah, so he acknowledges that it must be really hard for her not to do that. So he'll stop saying it, but she needs to know that that's how he feels.
And Gemma tells Nero all about Tara's performance. And Nero believes her because he knows she wouldn't lie when it comes to those kids.
Later on, Nero actually confronts Gemma about the possibility of her killing JT. She gives him a small little history lesson on why JT had to die.
And although she did not kill JT herself, she did give Clay the go-ahead to kill him. Because he was the weakest link.
Goodbye. So Jax pulls up to Scoops and Sweets and notices some strange chick sitting all by herself. Well, strange chick ends up having a pipe wrench in her back pocket and wants to whoop the shit out of Tig's bike and then chuck the wrench through the candy shop's glass window.
Jack's like, oh shit! He goes running after her, he catches her, and then she's, oh my gosh, she yells, rape! And then he lets her go. The boys go back to the shop, Borowski's on the phone, and they got to get together immediately. So Jack says, let's go to DN.
The DA shows up at Roosevelt's office and lets him know, I want surveillance of Jax Teller. And guess what? I don't really care what you say. I actually have 3 units en route right now to be here within the hour to help you do that.
And when Eli shows up to the shop, he tells the crew, hey, I'm here because of the DA, and we're going to be here for a while.
When the boys meet up at Dios Norte, Nero takes Jax into the kitchen for a little talk about the Gemma Tara problem. He got shut down and told never to bring it up again.
Enters Borowski and Colette. Borowski's donut shop got shut down, and Colette's permit got denied for selling the Nakuda.
So then Gemma shows up at DN and lets Jax know that Nero gave himself up for the club. And he's like, well, it's not a huge deal. I mean, my attorney told me that Torek was the one that got caught. I wasn't even going to get charged, dude. Don't worry.
But Nero says that the DA's not going to stop until she draws blood, Mono.
Jax totally agrees with Nero and realizes that the DA is not going to let off. So he calls an immediate chapel.
And when Unser returns with the information on the whereabouts of Putner, Jax goes and sees him to talk about his daughter who just lost her shit and fucked up one of our bikes and our window.
So Mr. Putner breaks it down for Jax. He lets him know his daughter Brooke, she does have some mental issues, but they also just recently lost their house. And while packing up the house, she came across some old photos of her mom and the actual original newspaper article that explained her death in the car accident 18 years ago that just so happened to be the same car accident that JT Teller died in.
And Jax later meets up with Oswald to speak with him to let him know that the club's going to get out of guns. And also, Jax asks him, can you help out Putner? I know he's one of your employees. Yeah, Oswald's like, you're going to owe me one.
Jax wants to make the DA an offer, so the boys vote on it, and they're okay with it.
Jax tells her that he'll give up Galen as the source of the KG-9s for full immunity for all gun charges, past and present, and in addition, also for her to take a second look at his wife's case.
So with some serious hesitation, the DA agrees and gives Jax 10 days.
Clay goes to chapel and acts all kinds of crazy, ending with biting a guard's nose off, sending him into full restraints, where he meets with a doctor that gives him a phone so he can make some outbound calls. When the doctor returns and snatches that phone, Same doctor takes the money from the guard who had his nose bit off, and the guard beats the shit out of Clay.
Let's bring it back to Tara real quick. Her and Lowen meet up. Lowen gives her all of her docs, starts having her sign stuff, but then pulls out the medical records. Looks at her and she's like, I looked at all this. It doesn't look right. This is a felony. If you have any other drama hidden up your sleeve, I need to know about it now.
Tara smirks and assures Lowen that she already knows everything.
Tara also gets a surprise visit from Nero at St. Thomas. He's like, look, Ma, I know you're probably doing what you feel you need to do, but you gotta really see the kind of rift you're putting in this family.
And Tara lashes out irrationally, and she says that Gemma killed John Teller, and she was probably going to do the same thing to Clay. And if you're not careful, she might kill you too.
Gemma lures Margaret into Tara's office and tricks her into admitting that Tara's medical records were in fact falsified.
And Jax and Nero duke it out because Nero didn't listen.
So Happy and Quinn play bodyguard over this little brawl until Gemma walks in and she's like, okay, break it up. They're going to kill each other over me.
Then Nero tells Jax about Gemma's conjugal visit with Clay, and that softens him up for just about a minute.
Just a little bit. Yeah, well, Gemma jumps on that opportunity and lets Jax know that Red confirmed Tara's dumbass plan.
Then Lowen met up with Unser upon his request, only to get locked into the Airstream to meet up with a unhappy Jax.
So Jax makes Lowen spill everything about Tara's plan at gunpoint and sends her packing with a big load of shit in her britches.
Jax ends the evening going back to the shop to have a conversation with Brooke.
So Brooke lets Jax know she's really sorry about what she did. She's just got, a bunch of shit going on in her head. And he looks at her and says, we all do.
And she also mentions that Oswald called her father and he's going to be helping them keep their home. Then she asks Jax why he did what he did.
He lets her know that it's his way of saying sorry for her mom. She cries a little bit. They hold hands and everybody's happy.
Well, that's it for the recap. Let's get on to some predictions.
Not just any kind of predictions, though.
No. Every once in a while, Kurt Sutter throws us for a loop. So, for this week, friends and foes, you're out of there. This week's prediction segment is called
Ridiculous Predictions!
Jax takes the kids over to Colette's to keep them away from crazy Tara.
Chucky learns how to play the French horn.
Saxophone! Otto's ghost returns to Stockton to give Clay's butthole a little visit, if you know what I mean.
Brooke is Jack's second sister out of wedlock.
Rat Boy is a fucking cop.
Nero's gonna tell Jax about JT's death and who did it.
The DA tries to double-cross Jax, and Roosevelt's there to save the day.
Lowen, for the life of her, cannot get the shit out of her skirt.
The Mayans and the Chinese, they come back to retaliate against Galen.
Lincoln Potter comes back and says, hey, I'm JT.
Oh, well that brings us to our final segment.
You predicted. Last week on You Predicted, we asked you, what will Jax do if and when he is served with divorce paperwork?
Oh, and we got some awesome predictions. One real awesome one in particular. Desiree Snowden says, when Jax gets those papers, he will have that sexy but oh so sad look on his face. Jax is going to flip, and him and Tara are going to have it out. Unser will dig more shit up for Gemma, and poor Wendy mama, she's going to be dead or in a coma. She also put in here that, by the way guys, love the predictions. And guess what? We love your predictions.
Yes, we do. Hey, Toph, where shall they send their next predictions?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, AJ. It's so easy. Facebook.com/Toph and AJ. Just put it on our wall.
Don't forget about Twitter.
Oh yeah, @Toph and AJ. If you can do it in 140 characters or less. This week on You Predict It, to continue with our ridiculous predictions that we got going so far. We want you, in your best Kurt Sutter fashion, to tell us how you think the rest of the season's going to wrap up with your most ridiculous predictions ever. Is Venus going to kill Galen?
Is Unser really Jax's father?
I don't know. You tell us. Give us everything you got.
It's a special episode, which means we have a special thanks to one of the largest, biggest, baddest Topher and AJ supporters out there. Scene Taylor, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Scene. We love you.
And if you want to see these links we are always talking about, make sure to watch our video on youtube.com. It's the only way you can see those links.
Yeah, it's all in the description down below.
Yeah.
Just like every episode. Well, that wraps it up for us this week. Be sure to tune in next week. I'm Toph.
I'm AJ.
Thanks for watching.
Laser.